Hey, welcome back. We're working with the metaphor of our minds as ponds or lakes and the way that the surface of our mind can become disturbed or disrupted based on what's being tossed into it, and how the very act of meditation will still that disruption or disturbance on the surface of our mind. It's uh, it's a challenging and daunting task, and I'm not here to say that we're all supposed to end up with perfectly still mountain, crystal clear lake type minds that reflect reality perfectly like a sage or a saint or a mystic. Wouldn't mind it, but there's a there's a certain charm to having our own set of ripples, I guess you might say, our own way of seeing it. When we consider that while we're standing at the edge of this pond or this beautiful lake and we're seeing the reflection that we see, it could be important to remember that we're surrounded on this particular planet with 8 billion other people who all have an angle on mind, and they're all seeing it their own way. Obviously, this is probably one of the great lessons, spirituality 101A, is that I'm seeing something different than what other people are seeing, and everybody's putting their own unique twist on it. Now, one angle of mental health and therapy is, well, we kind of go into deep psychoanalysis, and we're going to figure out every single pebble that's been thrown into our pond and some of the boulders. And that's wonderful. It's good stuff. Self knowledge. We can learn a lot about ourselves, our triggers, and our patterns. There's no doubt about that. But the very notion that we could ever unwind our own particular story and get down to the origin of it, it's like good luck on that. Our psychic geology runs so deep. To me, it seems unimaginably difficult to unwind all those psychic vortices and tornadoes inside of us. The other strategy is to let them calm and to quell using various practices such as meditation, breath work, prayer, yoga, the being of service to others, forgetting about ourselves. All these things are also perhaps equally, if not more effective at unwinding these the turbulence in the lake that we're looking at. But as we begin to do this, we begin to realize that the disturbance we were thrown into, even as when we showed up on the planet, nobody showed up into a perfectly clear, undisturbed lake. Far from it, right? We were. God only knows what family you landed in. God only knows the family dynamic. God only knows the country that you landed in, the religion, the culture, the education, the lack of religion, the economy, the politics. It's like we arrive on planet and Earth and we look out, and it is important to remember that all we will ever see is our own consciousness. It's when that really sinks in, the great spiritual message that all we're ever really looking at is our own consciousness. And that if we clean up and clear up and calm and pacify and make pristine our own consciousness with daily persistent work on ourselves over a long period of time, that in the absence of doing that, what the world at large does is they run out onto the lake and they try to smash down the ripples. I'm going to make everything on the outside perfect. But as the great spiritual teacher Emmett Fox says, by right of consciousness, all we ever see is our own consciousness. And it's a great milestone in the life of a soul when they realize there's no point running up to the movie screen and trying to scrape off the negative picture that I'm looking at. We've got to go back to the projector. We've got to stop throwing these rocks and pebbles in. We've got to learn to pause when agitated. And anybody who says that process of calming and stilling our own minds so that what we look at is as pristine and as perfect as it might be, anybody who says that that's easy or thinks that we don't have to do that or thinks that wrestling with the outside world is the way is has never tried it, but we are. Every day we get up and for at least 20 minutes we sit and we endeavor to not throw pawns in the pool. And as we do that, we'll get better and better at it. And this is not to say we're not going to cause some impressions, we should, but the pebbles we throw in will be pebbles of love, bliss, truth, calm, peace, harmony, organization, well-being, all the good stuff. So enjoy the clarity, the increasing clarity of your mind today, and we'll see you all on the morrow. Bye, you guys.